Greetings, scholars. My name is Sandy, and I will be bringing this discussion board post to you about the United States Capitol. In 1790, Congress signed into law what is known as the Residence Act. This gave permission to Congress and to George Washington to designate and find a land in which to establish the country's government. The state of Maryland ceded land, which is now known as the District of Columbia. George Washington appointed 3 commissioners to oversee the design and development of the land into what is now known as the Capitol. The commissioners hired Pierre Charles L'Enfant in 1790 to design the facility, the building that would house the United States government. Charles L'Enfant searched the land given to them by the state of Maryland and found the highest point in the District of Columbia where the Capitol now sits. He believed that because the land was the highest point, it oversaw all of the points over the District of Columbia, and therefore demonstrated that the Capitol should be the highest point of all government. The trouble with L'Enfant was that he was never able to produce his actual designs and was subsequently fired by the commissioners in 1792. Later that same year, Thomas Jefferson suggested that the country hold a competition in search of new design architect and engineer, in which they found Scottish-born Robert Thornton. Robert brought forth a design which is what we now see as 3 buildings: the Capitol, which is the center dome, and the left and right flank, known as the House of Representatives and the Senate. Congress held its first meeting in the building in 1800. It was unfinished until 1811, but what happened after that was the War of 1812, and the Congress building was put on fire and caused a substantial amount of damage. The dome had to be repaired, and then eventually the Congress building and the House and the Senate sides both had to be expanded because of their size being too small. The building as we now know it is 540 rooms, 658 windows, and 850 doorways. If you are a tourist or a guest to the Capitol, you can go to the Capitol website and find links there where you can plan your visit. During your visit, you will get to tour the Capitol floor, you will get to tour the statuaries and all of the paintings that are on the walls. The tour guides are very helpful in describing to you how all of the different statues came to the Capitol. There are 2 represented by each state, and you'll see some of those pictures scrolling through. You will also see many of the paintings. They will tell you also that some of the statues that are there, maybe someone like Rosa Parks or the women of the suffrage, are also donated by the states. The significance for visiting the Capitol would be that students would have the ability to see where all government takes place. The grounds itself is very large, very extensive, with lots of beautiful shrubbery. You'll also find a small summer house area where there's a fountain to visit. And if you're very lucky, you will get to go to the floor of the house under special invitation. Students should also be aware that the flags that fly over the Capitol are the House flag and the Senate flag. And when you're visiting the area, if you notice the flag flying over top, you will know that Congress is in session. I hope you enjoyed this brief tour of the Capitol, and I hope that someday you'll get to visit.